Welcome back to History and Freemasonry, where ancient symbols reveal timeless truths. Freemasonry and the hidden architects of the New World. The conquest of the Americas is often portrayed as a clash of civilizations, Spanish swords meeting indigenous resistance under the banner of the Catholic cross. But hidden behind the sails of Spanish galleons and the splendor of royal courts was another force, ancient, esoteric, and organized. A force that would shape the world not just with armies, but with symbols, secrets, and sacred geometry. It begins with the Knights Templar, the legendary warrior monks of medieval Christendom. Though officially dissolved in the early 14th century, many believe their secrets lived on. Some say the Templars possessed maps of lands far across the Atlantic, drawn from ancient sources or earlier voyages. When they vanished from the public eye, they didn't disappear. They went underground, and their mystical teachings re-emerged centuries later within Freemasonry. As Spain prepared to launch its conquest of the Americas in the 15th century, many members of its noble class were already immersed in Renaissance thought. Ideas that merged classical wisdom, sacred architecture, and Hermetic principles. These traditions, steeped in geometry and Enlightenment ideals, were the same philosophical roots from which Freemasonry would grow. While Freemasonry as a formal institution wouldn't be established until the 1700s, its operative form, the guilds of stonemasons and cathedral builders, already carried these teachings forward in secret. Some of the early explorers, missionaries, and officials who crossed the ocean were more than conquerors. They were custodians of knowledge, working from a vision of divine order. This vision, grounded in the Masonic ideal of the great architect of the universe, sought to reshape the New World not just through colonization, but through ritual and structure. Centuries later, Freemasonry would become the quiet engine behind Latin America's fight for independence. In the 18th and 19th centuries, men like Francisco de Miranda, Simón Bolívar, and José de San Martín weren't just generals. They were Masons. Their lodges were meeting places, strategy rooms, and schools of revolution. As Leon Zeldis writes, the seeds of South American independence were planted in Masonic temples long before they bloomed on battlefields. These lodges preached liberty, equality, and fraternity. But they were also exclusive, often limited to the Creole elites, those of European blood born in the colonies. And while Freemasonry helped overthrow European rule, it did not destroy the deep-rooted caste system left behind by Spain. That caste system, the Caste hierarchy, ranked people based on skin color and ancestry. Peninsulares, Creoles, Mestizos, Mulattoes, and indigenous peoples. Even after independence, these divisions persisted. As historian Ann Tweenham explains, social mobility in colonial Latin America could be bought through legal whiteness. But it was still a system built on exclusion. In some ways, the Masonic world mirrored this order. Freemasonry operated through degrees, where members ascended through layers of secrecy and enlightenment. Advancement was reserved for the worthy, the initiated. Just as the caste system preserved power among elites, so too did many Masonic lodges serve as fortresses of privilege. This paradox defines much of Latin America's hidden history. Liberation born from secret brotherhoods, yet still bound by the hierarchies they inherited and sometimes reinforced. The conquest of the Americas was not just an age of discovery, it was an age of design. And some say that design was drafted not by kings or priests alone, but by men who followed a compass and square, seeking to build a new world, stone by stone, symbol by symbol. If you find Masonic history enlightening, please like, share, and subscribe, and continue your journey in the light of the great architect of the universe. Thank you.